going back to our culture and society, it may have been 2 or 3 months after she passed, and then nobody, it was like it never happened.
Yeah,
And
right? It
that
like
was
moves on,
weird. So
right?
instead of it like, oh, you're grieving weird, it became like, well, this is weird. Like, I don't have to necessarily like talk about it with everybody. And then there were other members of Emily's family that kind of were feeling the same thing. So that felt healing. Not that they were going through the same thing, but like, oh, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Like, and so to be more clear, like what I'm hearing is that like, so they died and then everyone was all about it for 3 or 4 months and then like life moves on.
Yeah, and
And
even
it,
less than that. But again, I'm saying for me, the
no,
common denominator is the cultures. And
let's talk about that a little bit. When you
okay,
keep saying the culture, like what culture have we
well,
become?
you mentioned your mom. I'm saying the American culture.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't blame any person. In the past, I would have taken it a lot more personally. Why people can't show up, why people are saying weird things, why people aren't saying anything or look the other way
Yeah. Like not
or
acknowledging it.
spitfiring too much but it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
My parents never talked about grief. It's not normal in our culture how we're typically, I believe,
Yeah.
how we're raised,
To not
you
talk
know?
about it. Like
And
my
also,
brothers, we didn't talk about it for years. Like, and even to this day, there are very few family members that can talk about it. And I try to bring up stories about my brothers to my niece and nephew because they didn't get to know their dad. So whenever it can come up, I can bring that up. But there'll be certain family members around that I wouldn't do that because they just still can't handle it. And that's part of our culture. Like we weren't taught, someone dies, everyone cries by themselves in the room, no one talks about it, and you move on and then you're still crying, but no one's talking about it. How can we change that? Like what are we supposed to do?
I don't know what exactly we're supposed to, well, I think that we're doing it by
Talking
having this
about it.
conversation. Something needs to change, but it's going to start one person at a time. I'll use myself as an example. In my family, no one talked about their emotions. So how am I supposed to grieve and have all these emotions if that's how I was raised? Now, I'm not blaming my family. I think it's pretty normal
Yeah.
in our culture. And then there's another component. When people talk about grief, a lot of people see it as being weak and vulnerable.
Mhm.
Our culture is success and quick, and there's no time for that.